I'm here today. I want to fundamentally change your perception on Hollywood red carpet experiences. So I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, but because I know I have a short period of time here, and we're just going to get right into it. But I hope to help you monetize whether you have a commercial event, nonprofit event, whatever it might be. So we're going to jump right into this. So my first question to you guys here is: have you ever actually thought, why does Hollywood build the red carpet entrance? Have you ever actually been asked that? Have you sat back and said, what are they doing? It's kind of silly, right? You have these celebrities walking down a carpet, you have a backdrop, you have some sort of crowd or press barrier. Why do they do it? Jealousy. PR? Anybody else? Advertisement? Anybody? Brand exposure. All right, so why they're really doing it is they're controlling event experience right from the start. And what I mean by this is both literally and emotionally, they're controlling the event experience. So when we talked about that crowd press barrier, here's Justin. On the left, he's very happy that barrier exists. On the right, not so happy, right? They're literally controlling these celebrities, funneling them down the red carpet, and stopping them along the way for engagement. So when I say control experience, experience is a tough thing. It's taken me a lot of years to figure out what is event experience. I think it's a very hard thing to describe. So I want to give you a quick example. So who would want to win this? If you went into an event, whether it's yeah? Yeah. Ooh, yeah, okay. What if I told you the prize here isn't actually the alcohol? Would you believe me? Yes, you believe me? Anybody else? It's the wheelbarrow. And here's why. Okay, this is basically the same thing. You have a basket of wine, or let's just say they had the same number of bottles, the same value, okay? What's happening here, and what I noticed, and the reason this was such a successful item and it blew my mind, was it wasn't that the guy who won it was excited about the alcohol. What happened is when he goes to leave the event, he has to wheel this thing, okay? He has to wheel it, and that excitement and that little engagement that happens, right? Those little conversations you have with complete strangers, right? Those little tiny, excuse me while I take up half the elevator, while I get my wheelbarrow full of alcohol out of this event. And so he thought he had won alcohol, but what he actually had won was an experience. And realistically, though, this is. So, realistically, it's about the experience behind the same thing, because it's virtually the same idea, but what I want you to realize is in events, it's these little tiny tweaks, these little subtleties, the inches that separate apart the good idea from the great idea. And this example here, you have a basket of wines, you have a wheelbarrow full of alcohol. The difference in the amount of money it could raise was substantial. You're looking at like $200 on the right, and yeah, on the right, I'm just making sure my perception's right. And the wheelbarrow, $1,200 in raffle tickets, right? So it's those little nuances. I want you to pay attention to those. So the first thing, we're gonna jump back into entrances quick, and I'm gonna get rolling here. So entrances matter because it's the first thing that your attendees are doing. They're registering, they're coming into the event. The entrance is the very, very first thing. And if you're not invited to the event, you don't have a ticket to the event, it's the only thing you're probably ever gonna see and say, hey, there's something over there going on. I wanna be invited next time. So it's the opportunity, right? It's the same opportunity of the cover of a book. Because if the cover sells the story, the entrance sells the event. Too many of us are sitting here thinking about red carpet experiences, step and repeats, and we're comparing it to a billboard. And I want you to stop comparing it to a billboard. Because what happens when you make it a billboard is you actually give up a whole lot. You give up a whole lot of money-making potential, experience, engagement, content that you can generate. I want you to think about it as actually a set stage. So people are being funneled across this. These celebrities are being funneled across this, or your guests, your VIPs are being funneled across this, and it's your opportunity to engage with them and to achieve something that you're trying to do. Give it another second, because I know some of you are taking pictures of the slides. Think about it as your bridge between your physical efforts and your digital efforts in marketing your event. Capture your content in front of backdrops. Get that consistent branding. And so what you're really doing is you're actually content harvesting. As people come in, pictures, videos, testimonials, interviews, and keep going. So the dirty secret here is that all of us, when we step on the red carpet and we take a picture, we think that we're doing it for our next Facebook profile. What you're actually doing is you're participating in content generation for the event, and you don't even realize it. And the reason you don't realize it is kind of what Sri was saying earlier. It's a really noisy world. It's hard to break through all of the tweets and snaps and posts and this and that, but I'll tell you what breaks through it. Your picture does. You're gonna go download it. You're gonna go make it your profile. This is me, 5, 6 years ago. We were just talking about the storm. There was a Texty talk where there was a big winter storm. So it's still my Facebook profile. I didn't even realize that until I was putting slides together. I had never changed it. But I downloaded my picture and I put it up. So the other thing I have to tell you about a red carpet experience is it's kind of an equalizer. Because whether you're an attendee, whether you're a sponsor, whether you're a VIP, it's gonna make you feel the exact same way. And when we talk about this, quality is subjective. Miss here in the front, you might like a Porsche. Sir, you might like a Bugatti. There's a big price difference between those vehicles. They're still awesome vehicles, but in your mind you say, that's my car, that's my car. And when both of you sit down behind the wheel, it doesn't matter if one's $1 million and one's 180,000, because you're both gonna be smiling and you're both gonna know it's your jam. So that's what I want you to know about quality. Quality is subjective, but how it makes you feel is not. So a lot of us are looking for a holistic event solution. Monetization, fundraising, marketing, we gotta do social, So a lot of us are looking for a holistic event solution. Monetization, fundraising, marketing, we gotta do social, we have all these things we gotta focus on. The red carpet is a true system, and it's been around a lot longer than you think it is. Most people think it started in 1927 at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood. That's wrong. You're talking 2,400 years ago, ancient Greece, okay? So this system has been around a long time, making people feel good at events, coming into events. So the other thing I want you to think about is Hollywood has, these big red carpet entrances. They're 100 or 200 feet long. Why? Why does it get that long? Well, if you think about it, as they're being funneled down the carpet, there's different engagement and experience. You might start off, you have E! Network doing interviews, then it goes to MTV, then you got Andy Cohen on Bravo, then you got a taste test with Patron, then you got the kid who just made national world news, the yodeling kid, right, who just got to play Coachella. He'll be there interviewing people. It's station after station, experience after experience, and they keep extending it because they can generate more content and they can captivate you for a longer period of time. So there's a reason it's 100 feet long, because it's station to station to station. So your marketing needs, I want you to think about this. It doesn't matter your event type. These two examples up here that I put up here, we do step and repeated dodgeball events, and people go, why? Well, it's just as effective for me to interview somebody with a t-shirt, a team t-shirt, and a bagel as it is with champagne and caviar. It's the same experience. It's the same funnel. Same thing too, photo booth. We had a bar client who does frozen selfies in front of his step and repeat. He changes it up all the time. He reuses it time and time again. So what I want to tell you is you can actually generate 5 to 15% of your entire event's budget if you really plan out your entrance. So if you do the math right now, you pick your event, I'm talking the full gross here, so how much money comes into an event. You can calculate your low end, 5%, and you can calculate your high end, 15%. And a lot of people might not believe me here, but we're gonna get into the next slide, which is creating some exclusivity, creating the activities, the engagement that go above and beyond just taking your picture. So what I'm talking about is that interaction. You need to create interaction. Sometimes it's photos and videos. Sometimes it's an interview. Hey, why do you come to Texty Talk? What value does this event bring you? Right? All of a sudden, boom, I have a quick 30-second testimonial that I can throw up on my site, and my audience is speaking on my behalf. Their voice is my marketing engine. So you can implement other things, and you can farm more content, a lot more content than you ever thought you could with the entrance. The location. I always say the entrance, and the reason I tell people that you should pay attention to the entrance is because it's the very first thing. It's when people are sharpest dressed, they're alert, they're on their game. You get them later in the night, in the evening, they've had a few drinks, they're paying attention to bands and entertainment. You don't have their focus anymore. You don't have their attention anymore. You need to get it right at the door, and then let them go into the event and enjoy it for what it is. But the cool thing is, if you do it right, you can repurpose your step and repeat. You can repurpose, these experiences. You can move them around. This backdrop we brought, 5 years ago now. We did some formal red carpet pictures, or magenta at the time. We then moved it behind the speakers, and then at the end of the night, we moved it back out and we started doing fun photo booth stuff when everyone was drinking. We reused it time and time and time again. It's the same backdrop in 3 different locations. So I want you to repurpose constantly repurpose. And I'll tell you what, if you don't have sponsors on your backdrop and it's your corporate backdrop, you can do all sorts of other things. You can use it for streaming, webinars, LinkedIn headshots. I mean, just look at this as a mobile content generation studio. I take it with me, I pop it up, it gives me a nice professional branded environment. I can do any type of content creation I need to, and everybody knows what it is. So now I'm gonna get into some tips here. How to execute like a pro, because I wanna give you some real nitty-gritty details, and I'm gonna fly through this. This is one of our rules. We tell people, if you're gonna put a logo on a backdrop, it's more important the width than the height, and the minimum should be 8 inches, and the maximum, it's not a maximum, but on the higher end, 18 inches is good. If you're doing like broadcasts, you can make it up into 20, 22, 24 inches. Now, where do we get this from? We actually get it from the average size of the male face. So when you're taking a picture, what are you doing when you take someone's picture? You're trying to get their face. You're trying to make them look good. So if the logo is approximately the same size and it complements the face, there's no problem, because anybody who's taking a picture is going to naturally be going for the face. Whether it's a vertical or horizontal, doesn't matter. So it's seamlessly going to transfer for you. And just to prove this, that we actually put research into this, we were looking at the big events. We said, hey, what are they actually doing? How big is that logo? So I started measuring celebrities. I asked Google, I said, hey, Google, how tall is Taylor Swift? I just needed Taylor Swift, so someone that everybody could know and relate to. Same thing with Bob Saget. Everybody knows Bob Saget. And what we came up with is this range, and we've applied this range at hundreds and hundreds of events now, and it works phenomenally well. The other thing you need to know is the sweet spot. Regardless of camera orientation, that's gonna be on the next slide, but approximately somewhere in the vicinity of 5, 6 feet tall, you got a sweet spot for your sponsors or for your brand. And so, again, regardless of how they take that picture, they're gonna show up. And regardless of who takes the picture, because as we all know, it's not always the pro photographer. Sometimes we're taking selfies, sometimes we're taking pictures of each other. We all got phones now. Differentiators for sponsors. Obviously, logo position, like we just talked about, logo size, logo frequency, and then more importantly, those pieces of content that you can generate around that red carpet experience, that step and repeat, that entrance that you've designed. The other thing, I learned this from this community. I actually learned this here at Texie Talk years and years ago. And it was, I could never understand how these top content producers did so much. They have a podcast, they have a vlog, they have a website, they got Instagram, they got all these things. How do they do it all? It's overwhelming. Well, if you start with HD video, you can backwards export everything out of it. You want a podcast, just take the audio clip out of the video. Boom, you got a podcast. You want a picture? If it's HD, you can take a still frame. Boom, you got pictures, right? So if you simplify your content efforts to video, you can do a lot more than you ever would imagine if you just go backwards with what's created. The other thing I want to point out is events are loud, they're chaotic. Audio, right, is so much more important than video quality. Now, everybody's got good video quality, good picture quality. Your phones do it, right? But the audio is the tough part, because if you're going to be speaking on behalf of the brand, that event, that organization, you better be heard, right? Your voice is their marketing power. So make sure you have good audio if you're going to do any type of interviews, testimonials, any type of content farming. Audio is super important. The other thing is, people ask all the time, they're getting into some FAQs now, does the carpet have to be red? No. I want you to design your entrance, theme it to the event, theme it to whatever the season is, whatever the motif is, whatever it is, theme it for that. It does not have to be a red carpet to be a red carpet experience. You have to have stanchions? No. But I'll tell you what, you want to funnel your audience. I don't know if you all realize this today, you went through a funnel. You started off in the front of Convene, you got your attendee registration, they pushed you towards some breakfast food, they brought you through a bunch of exhibitors, and they came in here. That's designed. That's designed, if you ever think about it, right? Bing, bang, boom, boom, and now you're here inside the event. Red carpet, how big should it be? There's no standard sizes, but I'll tell you what, if you're gonna do full-length capture, that carpet better be 5 feet wide, because when you go to take a picture, it's really, really hard to get that Hollywood-style look unless you have that depth for your camera's perspective to pick up on. So that's the only rule I would tell people. There's no length, there's no size, but width is important. Can you put a logo on the carpet? You sure can. We got a carpet artist, puts logos into carpet, hand inlaid, it's beautiful jobs, but it's expensive. But you know what's nice about it? It's a huge inventory opportunity for you to sell a sponsor. If you want an alternative, you can always print, thank you, Ed. You can always print mats, I'm going fast now, or you can put This is a dirty secret. Carpet decals, right? Floor decals. You see them in the mall? They'll actually stick to a carpet. How big should a step and repeat be? Again, no standard size. Just watch your height in case LeBron James shows up. White or black background. White's more forgiving because of flash photography. You get flash orbs, right? But black is actually preferred a lot of times because colors pop. Sorry, I'm just going because I only got 1 minute. We can get these slides to you. I'm also going to be around. We can talk about how this all ties into your specific event. Fabric's typically better than vinyl for wrinkles, for content capture. It can be dry cleaned. It's got tons of advantages. And I hope that I've proven to you that it's not just for Hollywood movie premieres. And that's not just for champagne and caviar budgets. And I'll tell you what, if you want to bootstrap an event, you can start with your red carpet experience, and you can actually bootstrap the whole event as long as you're building your content around it and your sponsorships around it. You can bootstrap the whole event. And the best part is you don't have to order it until you have a commitment, right? I don't have to order the carpet or the backdrop. So I can just start from nothing. I can pitch the idea. If nobody bites, I don't shoot myself in the foot. So again, I'll be out there at the table. Our table's a live entertainment. If you want to talk individually about your particular event, how can I make more money at my event? I'm going to be around. I'll be around all day. I'll be around at the after parties tonight. I welcome any questions then, okay?